Welcome back to the Much Spotlight with Majid Jordan. So far, we've seen how a seemingly normal night out turned into a feature with Drake, being signed to OVO, releasing 2 albums and being nominated over 16 times. I'm gonna switch gears now and talk to them about what exactly is the space between, why they only collaborated with OVO artists, and what is Majid actually singing about in the song Phases.
I keep going through different phases. I stay going through different phases. I keep going through different phases.
The space between. At first I was thinking, well, maybe they work together too much and they just need some space between.
I've never heard that.
But the space between.
Yeah.
Explain that title, where it came from, what it means.
I think it came from a few different places, and I think it just started to become something that we saw in everything. Once we were looking at it like that, we kind of zoned in on how we're going to tell this story about the space between and what it's really going to represent and how we're going to try to make this concept live forever.
It's a name that's left open to interpretation.
Yeah.
And I think things should be left open to interpretation because they show the limitations of everyone's perception. So if someone sees it like this, it's like, oh, well, that's what you know. What does somebody else see it as? Well, that's what they know. The more explanation happens, it kind of dilutes the actual purpose behind why we came up with the name. And I think when we go back and listen to the space between after we've lived many, many years, I think it will speak to us the same way.
Yeah.
October's Very Own officially launched in 2012 by Drake and longtime producer Noah 40 Shabib. In 2013, Drake signed the label's first recording artist, Party Next Door, and then in August signed Majid Jordan. More recently, the label is still breaking new ground with Canadian rap artist Roy Woods and R&B duo Division.
But until then, I live with hallucinations.
I'm sure you guys could work with anyone, but in terms of the features, you've kept it within the OVO family. Why is that?
But I think just because of time. Like, these are the people that we've worked with. We've met amazing artists on the way that we've also collaborated with that just isn't on this piece of work. It's just time. Like, we're just those people. We want to have that conversation and then go to the studio, you know, because like then you're manifesting it and then it's like the whole intent of the record, right?
We're always with our OVO family. Like, it just felt comfortable and it felt right and it felt like we could call on that relationship at any moment.
Yeah.
I want to find out why Majid Jordan limited the features on their album to only include Party Next Door and Division. And just in case you haven't heard of them, here's the lowdown.
I've been up for 2 whole days thinking what I did to keep you going.
Party Next Door was the first artist signed to OVO in 2013 and released his first self-titled EP, Party Next Door. He collaborated with Drake, Big Sean, Jeremiah, and wrote the song Work for Rihanna's album Anti.
Just get ready for work, 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 work.
Division are composed of Daniel Daly and music producer 1985. Drake quickly signed the two, and then they released their debut album September 5th. In 2017, they released their follow-up album called Morning After to critical praise.
Look what you made me do.
Why does Party Next Door and Division work best?
Both songs come from like very different places. Like we made both of them very differently. My Imagination was an idea that we made like 5 years ago with Division.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so we were all a part of that for a while. So that was a song that like actually just kind of got brought up into the conversation. Like, what happened to My Imagination? We were like, we already had like the album, you know, and then we went out. But with the Party record, I went to LA and I worked with Party for a few days and we came up with that idea. And then I came back home, Maj heard it, hopped on it like the same day, went back to LA, all made it together. You know, so yeah,
It's crazy.
And then that one we felt like it just needed to be on it too.
50 bands later, you the one I want. 200 bands, baby, you the one I want.
You said you guys made a song in the kitchen. Do you actually mean the kitchen?
Yeah, like my kitchen doesn't even work right now.
Yeah, he's basically in the process of building a studio in his place. So all the studio gear is set up on a table in the kitchen with 2 monitors, a keyboard, and like just basically playing the keyboard in the kitchen while the studio is being built downstairs. Yeah, just
That's wicked.
and that's something we've always done. We've always gone into environments, especially something Jordan always did very, very early on was look at a place and visualize how to put a studio into that space. Always working with the space. Whereas now, having the ability to design a space to the very
Oh man, that's
detailed
crazy.
last corner.
Right.
What will come of that? That's something we're really excited about
Yeah.
right now, being able to design our own studios. And then I think that'll be easier to even welcome new artists because
Exactly,
you're welcoming
yeah.
them into
Into
your
your
own
space.
world
That's
and
a-
our own space.
That's a huge step also of knowing who you are as an artist and then being able to give back to other people. And we're learning that every day.
To say the world has been slightly messed up is an understatement. Political unrest, threats of nuclear war, natural disasters, and the reason I bring this up is that this was all happening while Jordan and Majid were writing A Space Between. And this is best shown in the song Phases.
I keep going through different phases.
With Phases, I feel like it's a song that everyone can relate to because at the end of the day, we're all going through our own you know? When you're making a song like that, is this like a message that you're trying to give or are you paying attention to like what you get back?
For Phases, it's just a part of my life that I hadn't explained that explicitly before.
Okay.
It was just a moment when there was a lot happening in the world. A lot of people were confused. And it came from this line my sister said. She said, how come there's all this love and all of this disdain at the same time? And that's just the nature of how things are sometimes, unfortunately. There's so much love that people have for one another, but then there's so much disdain and so much disrespect and discrimination between people. So it was mostly coming to terms with that and then describing my story, how I came here unprepared, thinking I knew it all, but actually knowing very, very little, you know, the amount of cultures and people that I came across in Canada, but also finding a positive and being able to make music and putting that out. So I'm dreaming of my paradise, I'm dreaming and I'm living it at the same time.
But what is it about this phase of your individual lives that we're getting out of this album?
I'm having the best
Yeah.
time of my life, and so is he, you know? We're finding ourselves, we're discovering what we really like, discovering the people we want to be around more and more every day, the things we want to do. It's brighter, our life is brighter, the future is bright for us. You know, we're lucky, we want to keep it going, we want to bring that brightness to other people now.